We now move on to our very next segment. Okay, stars, because you deserve only and only the best, we give you only and only the best. Whenever is it that Mithun gives me the red signal? Okay, so while this gets sorted, we'll quickly move on to the next segment. For our next set of leaders, our hardcore revolutionaries who are here to discuss about revolutionizing the BFSI industry with fintech. Revolutionaries, just a small note for you before you get in. There's a small question waiting for a very small answer from your end, and while they get mic'd up, we'll announce the question as well. So सवाल ये है, the question is, what revolution in your life, no explanation needed, what revolution in your life made you the warrior that you are today? We're going to start off with our moderator. If the moderator is all set, Dr. Rajendran, N, CDO, Multi-Commodity Exchange of India. Can we have Dr. Rajendran on stage with us? Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. The revolutionaries are walking. Sir, one small question waiting for your one small answer. While
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Okay,
I'm
not
on.
a problem,
Okay,
sir.
thank you very much. Yeah, you can go ahead asking.
the question is, what is that one revolution that made you the warrior that you are today? No explanations, just that event, what happened?
See, you have seen the green revolution and white revolution, and each and every organization behind that revolutions and the entire ecosystem has created or contributed to those two revolutions, and still we are in the good position in both green and white, and now it is a digital is a different color. And the one proud things I think in the previous speaker also was talking about the UPI. Okay, UPI made the entire country or the entire globe is now looking at and seeing us how we made this success. So I think I was the part of that and core group and designed that UPI product. I'm very proud to be in front of you. This success is not because of only one person or one organization. This is all of you together has contributed. That means the Fintech, BFSI, and the entire ecosystem, not only the telcos, also the major contributor, telco power. Just before I was just entering into this room, there was a conversation about the systems are going down and not available. So everywhere there is the telco revolution happen. And then the power availability. This power and telco also very, very crucial to us to survive in the digital era. I think maybe we are not creating the only digital society, but maybe a more digital adoption will be.
Sir, I have to, my apologies for interrupting. Sir is a true CDO in its true itself. I was just asking one question, sir, in your life, but considering how technically strong you are, you gave an explanation regarding only the technicalities of it, sir. We would save your answer for the panel. Fantastic answer, sir. You are proud to be here, and we are absolutely proud to have a leader like you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Moving on to our next leader. Our next leader is Mr. Aditya Soni, founder and CEO, Cheq Digital Private Limited. Mr. Soni, no explanations needed, nothing. Just tell us what revolution made you the warrior that you are today?
I think many conversations with my father.
Many?
Many conversations with my father.
Oh yes, conversations with parents definitely bring out the warrior in everyone. We completely agree. Fantastic answer. And on to our next leader, Mr. Abhineet Sarkar, Innovation Leader, Tata AIA Life Insurance. Mr. Sarkar, no explanations needed. Just let us know what revolution changed your life and made you the warrior that you are today.
I think I got my first mobile phone in 2006.
that was a very revolutionary thing. So,
We completely agree. Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, a host of leaders for you to hear. And, sir, stage is all yours. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, the organizers and this FACE, the FinTech forums here, to giving us an opportunity to have this kind of a dialogue with you and with the esteemed panel members. So I just maybe started to talking about the digital revolution just when I asked about some one question and one answer, but I just getting to the details. Just to create the context for the next 30-40 minutes discussions, and maybe all of you might be part of this entire digital journey for so many years. And I just wanted to touch upon very few areas where this journey has started in this BFSI segment. Maybe I will start with the banking segment. If you go back to 1998 or 96, and during those days, all of us, the banking was done on the papers. Daily ledgers was happening, writing and storing and keeping in the branches itself. So the fintech journey, that means the digitization journey, when RBI has created the Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology, and IDRBT, to accelerate or to even create an awareness among the banking communities. And that was the first step. We can see the things, the journey started. And those days we have that VSAT network, very expensive networks. Frame relay then started with the laser circuits, then come into the MPLS. So it has a huge, the base, the ground is created at the IDRBT started, that one. For example, the Indian Financial Network is one of the world one and the largest network in India for the payment system backbone. Next, the structured financial messaging system, a domestic messaging system. Now also it is most successful, and it was driving and used for the NEFT and RTGS. And what we are talking about this NFS, National Financial Switch, and if you talk about even the Cheq truncation systems, I have witnessed to just dismantling the huge infrastructures of the physical sorting machine into the digital thing, and it has transformed the big way in the industry. So I think we have Mr. Aditya and the Abhineet. Both are from the two different areas. Maybe the journey of Aditya, if you start with the cards, and he had gone into the retail, a big retail, online, the e-commerce giants, and he had a huge experience on the working in the banking and e-commerce segment. And the Abhineet is coming from these insurance sectors. So I just wanted to start with Mr. Aditya. Just wanted to ask you, what do you think about the collaborations of the BFSI and fintech industry? And though a lot of things are happening, but wanted to have some perspective from you, maybe your experience or your thought process on this.
Thank you. The collaboration between the banking sector and the fintech sector is obviously fairly straightforward, especially for fintechs, correct? If you want to have a scalable fintech business which is B2C led, you need a really fairly large amount of capital to even sustain. And capital access is not very easily available in this country for the scale of what banking requires in this country. So for fintechs to scale up, you have to have a banking partner. Nearly no fintech is scaled in India at least, or even globally, without a banking partnerships in some form or factor. There are 2 to 3 types of fintechs in this country, correct? One are SaaS products, which make technology available and develop and sort of sell it to or provide that service to financial institutions. And there are core payment services, PAPGs, which have actually come into the foray and completely changed their life. And then there are third B2C kind of fintechs. All 3 of them actually do an exceptional job from a customer point of view or customer experience point of view, correct? For banks, there is a lot of merit in terms of partnering with fintech, because there are 3 critical aspects that fintech can help them. One is upscaling technology, which they would have taken much larger time to sort of solve for, correct? Their access to AI and ML models have been significantly forward because they are tech-first companies. Second, fintechs help them reduce costs significantly. And third, it takes away the problem of distribution. Right? A lot of India remain unbanked or underbanked because it is expensive to open branches and ecosystems within each tier 3, 3 or 4 cities, correct? With the digital revolution that we've got via fintechs, at least those problems have changed. So it's been a win-win situation till now. I think what for over than 5 to 10 years, I think both the parties need to respect the fact that there are values that each of them bring in, and they are part of that value chain. Right? Any idea where somebody tries to overlap on something that the other is doing, I think that's just the game that we need to be staying away from. I think today we are, and a lot of leading banks have actually led the philosophy in terms of how the partnership should foster, and some fantastic fintechs have also given us multiple ideas in terms of how this should be conducted, correct? So right now, I think we're in a very, very good space, especially from India, with respect to the partnership and collaborations between banking and fintech sector. And I talk more on behalf of the asset side of business and the core banking side. I'll leave it to Abhineet to talk about some more interesting aspects on this.
Sure. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here, and it's a pleasure to be part of this panel, esteemed panel, I would say. So, talking about the the how fintech has and the collaboration between fintech and BFSI as a space has happened. I want to divide this into 3 generations, which I have seen. Right. One is where we used to talk about digital disruptions. This is something which has come to the market. This is something very new. We talk about digital disruption. The kind of collaboration used to happen with the fintechs who wants to create something which has not yet been attempted. Second is the generation came in when we spoke about digital transformations. So when we say digital transformation, it is something which is enabled with the right set of technology. We know what we want to enable currently in our existing system. And the current scenario, which I think from the last 2 years, what we have seen, there has been a dramatic shift in the whole ecosystem, the fintech ecosystem. And I would like to call it as more towards an acceleration, the digital acceleration that we are more focused towards. And in this case, the kind of collaboration which we want to do with the fintechs as an enterprise, I can say that it has tremendously opened up, right? There has been a hesitance earlier, let's say, with incumbents not agreeing to right set of collaborations, but now with the existing scenarios and help, because today we want to enable everyone, not just the existing process. We want to enable our stakeholders. Insurance being, one of the very product which is run by agency channels, which is hardly run by very self-onboarding channels, and this needs enablement of your employees, of your stakeholders who are along with you, as well as your existing processes. So there has been a huge shift, I would say, that I can see in the fintech collaborations in the insurance industry, as well as the BFSI industry as a whole.
Okay, I think the collaborations, it happening and it should continue to happen. And for example, if you take about the I think UPI, just take an example. It is called a 4-party model. That means bank has owned the customer, and the the fintech as the provide the front-end solutions. Then fintech has an acquiring and issuer of the UPI addresses, and back-end accounts are mapped. So the 440 model, globally, it never happens anywhere. Normally, in e-commerce segment, a merchant is acquiring the transaction. Through the merchant, the bank is acquiring the another customer transactions. So this is the model was existing. But in this UPI model, the customer is acquired by somebody else. Suppose if we say an example, an ABC bank's customer is acquired by the, say, other XYZ bank by using a payment service provider app called PSPs. So this is one of the unique, and the model, it is one of the good example for how the fintechs and banking communities come together and collaborated to deliver the financial services and to enhance the customer experiences. That is one thing, I think, good thing is happening. And another thing is, if we say, the open network. Now it is coming up the new model, ONDCs. That is also another collaborations model which brings an e-commerce players and delivery players and payment providers and other logistic companies also to come bring together and create a delivery models, end-to-end delivery models, including the goods delivery and payments delivery, and everything is going to be unique. So this is collaboration. I think we see in India, we could able to demonstrate it how, and it is driving one of the key driver for us to digitally excel in the most of the areas, in insurance or the capital markets or the trading areas. Everywhere it is now, we are having a lot of collaboration. You can see a lot of initiatives are happening to accelerate the growth in terms of the hackathons or monthons, like that. Many areas, many people are now trying to create a collaborations model by providing a data sharing and to create incubate the lot of new inventor are getting into the systems. So just wanted to...
Actually, I just wanted to add a point on that. I think as fintechs and banks and financial institutions have done very well with respect to collaboration, a lot of this collaborations has resulted in a lot of growth, but not necessarily in a lot of profit pools, correct? I think we are now at a stage where relationships have been established in terms of what are the form factors of the partnership. I think we need to focus on how this ecosystem is going to make significant amount of money. You talked about UPI, and we are all proud of UPI. There is nobody making money in the UPI transaction. There is an MDR which the acquiring bank used to make. Today, they do not make that money. I think we need to sort of migrate to as a partnership in terms of evolving relationships which are profitable in nature, not only scalable and cost-cutting in nature, correct? Or else, how long will you continue to do this by burning holes into the pocket? I think that's just something that, as an industry, we need to think harder. And to me, till the time we have not reached there, this collaboration or this partnership between the fintechs and financial institution is largely a work in progress. We might be very proud of it, but we need to also smell the reality on it.
Yeah, yes, I think you are correct that the collaboration not only just to provide or facilitate any fintech services, it's also to make a business collaboration so that everybody have to be sustainable. Okay, I think that maybe models will come in different ways. I think it is opportunities available to create the environment. So if you we are talking about the lot of things about a collaboration. Yes, we had a good collaborations in many areas, and we are driving and will continue to do the collaboration with in the BFSI and Fintech industry will continue. How the still lot of products, lot of areas are coming, and what do you think about the what is the market expectations in terms of any new product required or the demand in the industry? I just wanted to hear from anyone.
Okay, you wanted to start. So I think if you look at any industry or any company, you know how the business functions, you can break them into multiple different modules, correct? Over the last 10 years, many modules, especially let's say things like core payments, have been picked up and fundamentally digitized, correct? There are still many modules in the whole business processes which are still archaic. Okay, we still have not scaled the quality of video KYC that as a country we should have scaled. There are still reasons where people have to still go to a physical intervention from a financial institution to get the job done. Let me give you a very small example. If today I have a home loan from a bank A and I've given a standing instruction to debit my account, and for some reason, you know, I change my job and I move to a different company, and my salary account also changes, correct? All of us have experienced this. Try and change the account from which your EMI gets debited with the bank. It's a nightmare of a process. There is no digital intervention. You have to go at least 3-4 times. There are 3 banks just supposed to talk, none of them talk, correct? So what will happen is that there will be fintechs which will identify these such modules which are still non-digitized and non-productized in nature, and will continue to build products. And they're fantastic companies who are already doing this, and each of the module will then continue to become a business of its own. So to me, repayments, I mean, if you look at forward payments have been revolutionized from companies like NPCI, from companies you know, on the front end side like Razorpay and PAPGs, but repayment still continues to be a very archaic system. I don't think there has been a revolution within the repayment ecosystem in the last 5 to 10 years. So to me, at least, that's one space where a lot of digitization, a lot of product innovation will happen, and customer forward product innovation will happen, not business, I mean, not a B2B forward, because that's what customers today need. So to me, that's just one large pocket where you need not even innovation, I think you need a bit of a disruption there.
Okay, I think thanks to bringing that to the silos need to be integrated. Right. And I think definitely it is required. I think in the even other areas also, even many areas they have paper-based. Some communication comes when you go to digital. You wanted to execute that one may not be possible. Like maybe a premium of insurance, or insurance wanted to extend the year or 2 or something. I think these kind of the things maybe we need to. There are a lot of demand to an integrated product. What is
I want to add into that. So there is a lot of expectation in the market today, and it is there. We want to do, as in if I talk about an insurance industry, we want to create something which is fairly new, and which I can call it as a very seamless kind of journey for my customers. But insurance being a very risky product, you have a lot of at stake. It's not a loan which you're easily giving to someone, a personal loan with a CIBIL score. It has a particular fair amount of risk which you have to take into account. So we are studying the market as well, that what is the best set of technology we can enable, but there need to be proper check, which we cannot jump or go ahead just to go, do or make a very seamless kind of experience. Because as I said, it's a fairly risky product. Talking about the entire value chain of insurance, starting from distribution to onboarding, doing an underwriting, then issuing a policy, doing the claims, and then finally policy servicing. So this entire value chain has specific sections which can be digitized today, and I think it's a way ahead for us. And as an insurance industry, we have moved fairly well into each of these value chain segments, I would say. One of the things I would definitely like to share is today underwriting plays a very major role. Let's say it's a lending industry or insurance industry. That's where the whole decision resides. And I think if we are able to crack that journey of how we can enable or make underwriting very seamless, that's where the whole expectation of a customer that I want a policy, but I am not getting it quickly, or there are a lot of hiccups which I'm currently getting just to underwrite a particular policies. That plays a major chunk of fall for us. And if I divide the whole journey as well for an insurance industry, it's majorly the identity which we look into, the financial details of a person or a medical details of a person. Today, we have account aggregators who is taking care of the whole financial sectors in there. We have 𝐄𝐝 which has been recently enabled for insurance. So that's what we are taking care for identity. We are also looking up for how we can enable the medical underwriting piece, because that's where the whole physical need is there. Someone has to go and do a medical test. That's what we are exploring. In the insurance industry, there is something called a technology, not insurance industry, which we are utilizing called RPPG, remote photo plethysmography, that enables any insurance company to tell about a person's heart rate variability, whether the person is able, what's the current age, what's the proposed age, what you can tell about the life expectancy of a person, whether a person is a smoker. So it's a very enhanced way of contactless kind of tech which can be enabled for doing a medical underwriting as well. So there is a need. We are working towards that. I think probably we'll be reaching out there soon.
But Abhineet, in the insurance sector, there was this report last year which said even the independent insurance selling digital platforms, 80% of transactions ultimately actually go through a human touch, especially when you're doing a health insurance or a life insurance, right? To me, and I may be wrong in this, but the fintech revolution has obviously touched the conventional banking far deeper than what it has done in insurance, and don't you see that there is just significant headroom in insurance just to be like these pockets that you just talked about? Do you think there are going to be independent business models in the future where startups will come and build and solve for those technologies, or do you think insurance companies will themselves take the lead?
See, as you rightly said, that it's fairly bit regulated kind of space today, right? And the first step, what I see, which can be done by an insurance player, is innovating their products. So it's not just the processes, they have to innovate the products which can adhere to this kind of journey. So when I say it's a risky product, if I'm giving a term loan, let's say 1 crore or 2 crore to someone, that needs a certain kind of physical intervention. But if I am trying to innovate my product, let's say for a smaller size product which can be sold to rural India or can be given to someone who may need a smaller set of products, that's how you can streamline the process. We are selling products which can be done in insurance space, I would say, which can be issued in quickly as well. It's not like you have to undergo the whole process, physical journey as well. But yeah, the main point is that you have to innovate the products as well, in addition to enabling with the fintechs.
Okay, I think every sector is trying to create a new innovation. There's a huge opportunities to fintech to collaborate and create a new product. And rightly, Abhineet said that the insurance industry is also driving a lot of innovations, and maybe not very visible in the market. Maybe there's a lot of opportunities available to
just to share, Dr. Rajendran, IRDA has 2 days back, they have just resumed the regulatory sandbox as well. So that's how the things are opening up as well.
Okay, good. I think maybe I think we have left it another 7-8 minutes. So I will try to maybe put another quick question to you, Aditya. So, we have been growing a good way both in adapting and in terms of internet literacy or the mobile usage, smartphone growth, and how do you see the things? What kind of changes will going to happen in the BFSI and fintech industry because of this accelerated, maybe now 5G is coming up, and the 5G when it started in 15th, and it may help to go into the computing way and the processing way in totally it may differentiates in the market. You can do an edge computing and the cloud computing maybe will complement each other and trying to grow it. What is your perspective on the things, how this will help to accelerate these industries?
So I sort of answer this question in two forms, right? One is the 5G revolution which is coming, and one is the smartphone penetration. Okay, I think all of us across industries gained with the deeper smartphone penetration that happened over the last 15 years in the country. Okay, but fun fact, India is a 150 million smartphone market. It's been a 150 million smartphone market for the last 5-6 years. It's been a flat industry, and every year we acquire less than 15% of new customers. So out of 150 million, close to just 22 million customers are actually coming for the first time at best into the smartphone world. Okay, there are close to 700 million feature phones out there, and close to assumingly 350 million active feature phones that are getting used every year. That's still a massively large number for any democracy or a country which expects it to be a fundamental digital leader. And that is because the feature phone today costs 1100 to 1200 bucks. The bare minimum body smartphone costs 7,000 rupees. For the guy who's living in tier 4, this is just too big a task to sort of migrate. To me, that's just the first fintech intervention that is required. How do you migrate feature phone customer to smartphone customer? Because that is the next 100, 200 million customers which will open up and which will then fuel this economy again, correct? How do you migrate a customer who does not have the capacity to pay you 7,000 rupees, who definitely does not have a credit score, okay, and who's living in a tier 3, tier 4 city? How will you help him or her to be underwritten so that they can fundamentally migrate and to get a smartphone, right? And once you get a smartphone, you get access to internet, you fundamentally come at a platform where all of us are equals. I think that to me is just a massive opportunity because now the smartphone market is flat. That's just point number one.
Okay.
Point number two, on the 5G revolution side, I think I'm very hopeful in terms of all the possible changes that are going to happen within the industry. I am actually very keen to understand how the execution of that happens. I mean, like you talked about, or somebody else talked about that the 15th August an announcement will come. I think for the next 1 year, I think I want to sit tight on it, see how the execution pans out, and then to me the reality of the 5G innovation will come in. Yeah, but to me the current and the now opportunity is more on building the 300, 350 million customers who are stuck with the feature phone in their hand.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I would like to add specifically that, today, if I see as a smartphone, so you're rightly mentioning the major chunk resides at converting that feature phone to a smartphone, but I think that today still, if you are not using your smartphone, you are either going to a branch to do your stuff. You may not be very much conversant to use a feature phone for doing many other stuff. Irrespective of, we are coming up with a lot of innovations on the feature phone as well. But I think the whole, as a strategy, if you're trying to make something today, the first strategy every BFSI segment keeps in mind that they want to create something on the mobile phone first, and then they want to extend it to different sectors as well, whether it's a website or any other channel. But it has to be mobile first thing. Today, across, I cannot tell about every industry, but at least in insurance industry, I would say even if someone is visiting a website, more than 60-70% traffic would be coming from a mobile phone, even if they're accessing a website, because people have been very, they are very familiar with the phones now compared to what earlier it was. So I think probably the next gen is to think of, I think there is an innovation block in mobile phone making. So what is next there, what they can do is something we have to see, but I think the industry is fairly enabled and capable to make the right set of strategy to target mobile phones and have a good impact with that.
Okay, thank you. I think say we are just in time. I think just a minute left out, and so just to summarize these the discussions and the way forward in the digital revolutions in our country. I think one key things drivers, yes, telecommunication is very important and it should be made available to everywhere and every time. When you go and do the transaction, every customer and every merchant should get a confidence that if I am making a transaction, I will definitely make it a successful transaction, and anywhere and anytime and India, because it's a 24/7. All the thanks to for the settlement systems are all available 24/7. So that helps to accelerate a new products and new innovation. That is one way we need to drive this further take our digital revolution into a new height. So the other areas, definitely the 5G going to create a new revolution, but it will need to wait some more time to how it is an adoption happening in the countries. And definitely mobile is an instrument to everything, whether it is you use, mobile will become a payment, mobile will become an identifying gadget for you, or mobile will become for your insurance, your trading terminal, or your digital locker also becomes the mobile. So I think with this, I will just, if you have, allow us, if you can take questions or it's over. Okay, we can close. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Abhineet and Aditya. Thank you very much, so everybody.